know my face, only my name, pretty much everywhere. And I own a theater, and one of my employees said, "Oh my gosh, it's owned by the Zayufi Enterprises, the local theater where the Star Trek's going to be, and Zayufi has all these different cities, and like I used to work in Salinas, I have an old badge, and it says Zayufi Enterprises Salinas, and it had some guy's name on it. So I put the little badge on, stuck in at midnight for the midnight showing.
Really? Yeah.
I was so scared I'd get caught.
Great story.
So guys, we're running out of time. We got time.
You're kidding.
One more story.
I came here to talk to Steve Wozniak.
And you've been so
popular demand. I'm sure you
Can I talk so long? I'm sorry. Okay, what should we do?
How about one more, Mike? So that was really interesting talk you gave, Leonard. How about one more thought from either of you about what is possible, right? I mean, we've seen a lot of movies. You talked about Star Trek portraying a sense of want among engineers and scientists.
I have a question. I have a very specific question.
Yeah.
Is it possible to create a universal translator that I could say something in? Yeah? Interested?
You're almost behind the time. It almost exists. It exists pretty much to where you can speak some languages into microphones and have it repeat in the other person's earphones simultaneously.
Yeah.
That exists for right on our iPhones. You can speak one language and then it speaks it in theirs. They speak it their language back.
It's happening now? It's available now?
Yes, yes. It's unbelievable how.
So I could press a button on it that is French, for example.
Absolutely. You can choose which languages you're going.
Chinese, Korean,
which is
German.
Incredibly well. You can even walk up to a sign written in English, point your iPhone at it with the right app, and you'll see it written in Spanish.
That's great. That's great. Where do I get this?
It's you have an iPhone.
Yeah.
You buy apps for it. You know,
There's
you
an
buy
app available for this?
Go to the iTunes store and say languages translation. You'll find a bunch of apps. Google Translate is a very good one.
Simultaneous translation.
Google Translate.
And it really works.
It's virtually simultaneous. You speak it, it's written, and then you press a button and it speaks it in that language.
Right. Right. This is worth coming here to know that
And by the way, about that very advanced species, someday, what if computers get as intelligent as a person and have the consciousness, and what if then they get 10 times better, smarter than a person, 100 times smarter?
Yeah.
We might have that new species right here.
Well,
we have to deal with them.
This is a very interesting concern in science fiction. The word robot comes from a play that was written around 1920 by a Czech playwright named Karel Čapek. He wrote a play called RUR, and the RUR stood for Rossum's Universal Robots. This was about a man who learned how to manufacture robots, and he sold them. He made a lot of money selling them, but he made too many of them. They took over the culture, took over society. They turned on their creators, which was the basis for stories like Frankenstein monster and a lot of other. We did it in Star Trek too, where certain kinds of equipment, or when it became too powerful, began to threaten humankind. It's just a possibility.
Consider this: we invent technology to make our life easier, to do things for us. But all of a sudden, it relieves us of all the responsibility of having to do those things, and the machines become important.
Right.
And you'll fire people, but you'll never get rid of the machines that make the products for your company. What if a company that has some humans is not as quick and efficient as a company that has no humans at all? Which one wins?
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that in the future?
Should we be frightened of this? I mean, is it possible?
Well, I'm hoping that they treat us as gods or as pet dogs. They'll take care of us. We'll have the easy life. Then we'll have it easy if we're like my dog.
I have the dog who's already in that. It's totally in charge of my household.
Yeah, I don't think they would switch us like ants.
Yeah. But I think that's a very interesting issue. We're trying to make life easier, but at the same time we're turning over our power to something else, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we lost that battle against the machines maybe 100 years ago.
Really?
Didn't know it. Yeah. So anyway, thanks.
On that note.
Time flies. Thank you very much, guys, for joining. So with that, I'm going to call up Neil. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Neil Silverman to close this up. I got nothing.